What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Deathloop. I want to look at and talk about the reviews that people are giving this, and it really, I don't even know what the title of this video necessarily is. It's the Sunday video. I try to pick something a little bit different on these days. There seems to be this kind of not necessarily disconnect, but I really, as of right now, I can't really think of another way of putting it, and you really are seeing it in the gaming industry and the gaming media with like reviews where you have all these mainstream, I would call it. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to say this game is amazing, or if you were to personally give it a 10 out of 10, I'm not saying, anything about that. But you have what would be considered like the mainstream, media, the mainstream gaming journalists, right? The IGNs, the Polygons of the world. When Deathloop came out, or Deathloop review scores came out, these are the guys and gals giving it, the high 8s, right? It's got an 88, at least last time I checked. Maybe it's moved, but, it's got the high 8s. People are calling it, I think I saw like a Polygon article that said it was the best game this person has played in years. Now, again, look, let me make it very clear. I don't think this game is all that good. I don't know if at the time you guys are watching this, I already did a review. I may have done a review yesterday on Saturday, but I have conflicting thoughts. I do overall like the game. I'm enjoying myself, but I don't think it is an amazing game. I don't think it's a great game. I don't think it's a horrible game. I'm somewhere in the middle. Very much like not exciting in terms of where I think about this game, where I stand about this game. I don't even know if it's worth doing a review on it, but that's kind of where I stand. So I guess I am a little tainted or biased. Now, I have played the game quite a bit. Even at the time I'm recording this, I've played the game quite a long time. I do have a pretty solid opinion on it, but you have these guys giving it those scores, and then you also have people that are not giving it those scores. Really, what's interesting about Deathloop, I would say more than other games. See, I don't think it's uncommon for a game to come out and get very high scores. Then you got the scores that are like slightly below it. Then you have the scores that are maybe significantly below it, but not like too significant. And then you have just the other side of the spectrum entirely. But there are, in my opinion, actually, it really comes from YouTubers. There are several YouTube content creators that have come out to say, like, this game is nothing special. This game is disappointing. I know I follow somebody who said, like, this is one of the worst arcane games, or like maybe the worst arcane game they've ever made. It's just not impressive. It's really an observation. I don't honestly even know where I want to go with this video or what I want to say specifically, but it's just, and I don't know if you guys have seen it as well, and it's just interesting to me. I'm not saying one is more valid than the other, although I will always take my shots at the gaming media, right, that I don't trust those guys. I don't like those guys. I would say this game is another classic example of why you just don't, you shouldn't, in my opinion, trust review scores. These are numbers. A lot of times the scoring is pathetic. IGN scores, historically has never been good. The reason why they've changed to like the 100-point system to then because they would do like 9.6. 8.4. Then they changed it to 0.5s. I don't know if it's back to what it used to be now. I don't like giving games review scores in general. I think they're stupid. But you have that, and I guess actually it's a little interesting that content creators normally don't give it. From at least what I've seen, it's more of just like their opinion on it. But I am always going to take shots at them. You know what I mean? I think it's just another example of why it's not. When Life is Strange came out, True Colors, I was very it got good review scores, and I was skeptical because it's like, I don't trust these. I don't trust gaming journalists in their scores. I don't trust the review process, and I also just don't trust. It's even more than that. Again, like how the numbers all work out is one thing, but the people reviewing these games, I don't trust them. I used to, probably 10 or so years ago, I used to trust them, but I have not for an incredibly long time as I've gotten older, and so I went into Life is Strange True Colors being like, I don't know, does it deserve the 8s that it's getting? And ultimately, it's easily a contender for my game of the year. I absolutely love the game to death, but still, that is very much removed. Deathloop, honestly, the same thing. To me, here's what it's done, guys, okay? Here's maybe where I want to go with this. To me, Deathloop is just another, and maybe the final kind of nail in the coffin for me, where the shred of life I had left in me that did give any credibility to review scores, right? So you look at Deathloop and you say, oh my God, it's got an 88. I think it's very difficult, even for someone like me, who like really hates a lot of these people in the gaming media, right? Even for me, you look at that score and it does something to you. I mean, there's actually no way it doesn't do something to you. You know what I mean? At the very least, it says, okay, there's a group of people out there that think this game is something very, very special. And then again, you have these people saying it's the best game they've played in years, which is quite a statement. I know I very much disagree with that, but I will say, by the way, this is their opinions. They have their right to their opinions, just like I have my right to my opinion. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying IGN giving it, I don't even know what IGN gave it, but these sites giving it 9s, 10s, saying it's a game of the year, they have that right. And there is something to this game that I could understand you giving it a high score, but there's also a lot of things in this game that I could understand you saying disappointing, not really what was shown, kind of a letdown. Like, I can understand how you say on both spectrums. I can understand how you say it, but it's interesting, I guess, for me. I've looking on like even Twitter. Now, Twitter is like hell on earth. We all know that, but people that did take the approach to not really liking this game, I think they've actually been attacked by like two different groups. Number one is like the Sony, the elite fanboys out there. And look, I'm not against any of these consoles, but I am against just being generally like kissing the feet of your masters, of these gaming developers. I don't think you should do it because they're not that whatsoever. So, and I have a problem with that from either side. People who worship Microsoft, people who worship Sony, they need to figure out something else to do in their free time. But they're always going to attack. If you didn't like The Last of Us Part 2, you're going to get attack from them. It's just going to happen. They're going to say, well, how could you not? They were given to you basically by God, by PlayStation or by Xbox or whatever. That's always going to happen. But what's funny is when you double cross, when you go against the gaming media, you also have the attacks, I would say, on that perspective, because now you have review scores to back you up. So not only are there people that will defend Bethesda or will defend Sony or will defend X and Y, now you have people that will also defend the review scores, being like, well, these sites literally said it's game of the year. They gave it 10s and 9s and high 8s, and you say that it's disappointing, that you don't really like it? How dare you? And it's just, again, I don't even know. I guess I did say what I wanted to say on it. Beyond that, it's just an observation of it's very interesting. It's interesting to see these people that go against, and I'm very much a person that goes against the grain. I'm just not big enough to like warrant attacks. Not yet. I will, especially because of the main channel. I absolutely will be, probably within the next year or two. But as of right now, I can quietly go against the grain and really face not a lot of consequences, which I like living in the world that I do right now. But that's the situation. You have these people that are just stating, I think Mr. Maddie Plays. Now, I don't watch the guy. I literally have never watched one video of the guy, but I just know him by name. And I believe like he even issued a Twitter statement where it was like, look, I disagree. I just don't like the game. It's okay. I'm just going to say, and a review is just one person's opinion on the product. That's all it is. And I mean, I like that statement, by the way. I think that's a good statement to make. I think he's right. But again, I mean, Deathloop does a couple things for me in that regard. Number one, it really does kind of shred that because again, I'll be honest, if you want like a partial review, it's not an 8.8. I mean, I just said, I don't like giving scores. I don't honestly know what score I would give it, but I would not equate my experience playing the game to an 88. I just wouldn't. I could see why you would, but I just personally don't. So, number one, I would agree with people that kind of go against that review score, that people that say, maybe it's like a 6 or a 5 or a 7, like maybe it lies there. I would more agree with them than I would these review scores. And then it's just interesting to see basically everybody attacking each other. That's actually one of the more interesting things that I think happens just daily. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. I do a brand new video on the channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.